Greetings, all my archaeologists. Today on Merry Peoples, we are looking at Archeos Society from Space Cowboys. For those of you who are not aware, this is a retheming and slightly reworked version of Ethnos. Same designer, different company bringing it to us. Here's your little background. Dive into an archaeological race. Guide your teams as you explore. And here's some of the components. Here's what contents. And so forth. So let's grab this and open it up. So first thing you have is your rule book. Goes into setup. And then down here, kind of the advanced setup options. This is more paper. It's not really coated. This game didn't come with any plastic to the best of my recollection. The cards had the paper wrap. I think the box might have been wrapped in plastic from, I literally can't remember. It was like 3 days ago and I'm getting old. But yeah, it was kind of made sustainably, consciously a little bit. They were really looking into all that stuff. So here's all the setup. Here's playing the game, starting a new season, playing a season, the monkey cards, play an expedition, season end, game end, frequently overlooked rules. Here's your credits. And on the back, all the different roles of the leaders and the different things that the locations can do on their advanced side. Next up, you have the scoreboard. This is just a basic paper scoreboard with nothing on the back, but it does show you how much your sets are worth. It's got an odd scoring one. You go and then you come around and you spiral into the middle. So that was a little different and weird. You have the 3 monkey idol cards. These are what helps signify the end of a season. These get mixed into the deck. You have these little boards. These are used for one of the leaders. You'll be getting different tokens and putting them on here and scoring points based on how many you have. Can I get that to focus in? There you go. We have a box of components we'll get to in a minute. First we'll get to the locations. So these show tracks that you're going to be moving your little vehicle down. The numbers on these show the threshold of how many cards you have to have your expedition be to pass them. And these are points you'll get at the end of the round. So if they have this little compass on the side, like this one does, it's the basic side. There's an advanced side that does various things. Like this one is, if you're alone on a space, you get the bigger one. If you're with someone else, you get the smaller point value. This is the advanced size of this one. And this one is, if I remember right, you kind of push your luck. You can go, and at some point you can choose to score it and then go back. You don't get points on this one at the end of the season. And there's its basic side. This one is you're going to have 2 vehicles, and as you're going along, you're going to score whichever one's furthest. And then its basic side. Alright, this one is when the end of the season gets triggered. You can play one last expedition and do all of its benefits, and the expedition can be as big as the threshold you're at on there. And there's its basic. This is it, Machu Picchu's basic. And then the other side, so this one is at the end of a season. Whoever is furthest scores 3 points and then goes back to the end. This one is the one that they actually have you start off with on the advanced side for your first game, and every time you pass the threshold you draw as many cards as is shown. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This board is used with one of the roles, the linguist. As you move along here, when you pass these symbols, you're going to move a vehicle on one of those tracks. Alright, so let's open up this here box. This was the other thing. All the wood components did come in the paper bag, so those weren't even plastic. These plastic baggies I had and I supplied. So here are your different player pieces. The little colored tokens in here correspond to that one board I showed you earlier. And then here are your player pieces for this color. And then you have these little black boat little guys. These are for another one of the cards. leaders. You have these little white zeppelins. These are brown hot air looking balloons. A goldish train possibly. And then a silver truck. And this is another piece used with one of these cards down here. So then these are the different cards you'll be mixing together to form the deck of the people you'll be getting. In all the colors except for, or all the types except for two of them, there's two of each color. And they all kind of have an iconography down here to show what its power is. So this is the guy who uses that one board. Whoever plays the longest expedition with him as your leader takes that, gets some points, and eventually you get more points at the end of the round. King of the hill type of thing, whoever has the biggest one of those. Alright, this lady, when you play her, as long as you advance your vehicle on a track, you can then play a second expedition triggering it. Then you have this one, which is, this is the one where you grab the relics and put them on that board. So as you see, two of each color for all the different tracks. This is the guide. When you have them as your leader, you have it's treated as one less for the threshold you have to do. So if you have to have 4 cards to advance, if he's your leader, you'd only need to have 3. This is the one that uses this board. I believe it was called the Linguist. Next up, so this is one of the ones that doesn't have colors. This is the Mercenary. He's a wild color. However, you take them out before you do the end of round scoring. So he helps you move on the tracks, but doesn't help with end of season scoring. Next up we have the Benefactor. When he's your leader, you're going to draw cards equal to the size of the expedition that he led. You have the Photographer. If she is your expedition leader, you are going, when you do the end of season scoring, you're going to score as if there's 1 extra card in there. You have the Physician. When you play him as your leader, you get to keep cards in your hand equal to the size of the expedition. And here's the Pilot. When they are your leader, you get to actually put or move your vehicle on any of the tracks as long as you qualify for the threshold. So this is almost kind of like a wild card as your leader. And now you have this leader. This is the one that uses those other tokens. When you play them, you're going to grab a token up to the value of your expedition, and then those pertain to certain things later on in the round. The students, this is the other one that there's not 2 of, there's 4 of each color. They cannot be your expedition leader. If they are, you just don't advance on the track, but there's more of them, so hopefully making a bigger expedition. And these do stay though for end of round scoring. So again, that was everything that was in Archeos Society from Space Cowboys. I was the groom, you were the watcher, as we dug up the treasures that waited us in this box. See you later.